Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tracy Takes On Live. I am Tracy, and before I get started, I want to invite everyone to, of course, visit my website. It is right there. Please hit the like button. When this video is completed, you can definitely share this video. Um, I think I already invited you guys to subscribe. And of course, you can always support us on Patreon. And there is our Patreon address. I got a big announcement at the end of the program, but I want to get started. So today, I didn't want to do the same old news with Ukraine and the war in Russia. We know what's going on. Hasn't been any, I guess the peace talks have that were supposed to take place haven't, or they're falling off. I just figured, maybe I should focus on some local things. And I ran across something last week and I didn't discuss it because I thought, I just don't, the show's only so long. So why even bother? But I'm going to do this. I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. So Rick Scott, or Senator Rick Scott. He used to be the governor of Florida. He is now senator of the state of Florida, and he has wrote a 11-point plan. Hi, Anna. How are you today? I hope you're doing better. Thank you for dropping in. He's wrote an 11 point plan that he wants to tout us. This is the GOP's, this is what the GOP is going to focus on, or what he thinks it's what the GOP should focus on. And it's called it's called the American Rescue Plan. So I am going to go through each point and kind of talk about what it is they were thinking. Oh, that's great. That is great, Anna. Glad to hear you're feeling better. So, we're going to do this as a countdown because that's the only way I know how to do these kinds of lifts. And I'm literally coming from their website. This isn't what I heard. This is what they actually say. So, we're going to start off with point number 11. We are Americans, not globalists. America will be dependent on no other country. We will conduct no trade that takes away jobs or displaces American workers. Countries who oppose us at the UN will get zero financial help from us. We will be energy independent, and will build supply chains that never rely on our adversaries. We will only help countries that are willing to defend themselves, like Israel. Okay, first of all, do what? This whole step, they're all lies, but this is probably, I'm not going to say this is the worst one because it gets worse. The first sentence. Does he realize we live in a global economy? Like, America can't just survive by itself. We export items to other countries and then we want people to buy our products and then we import. Oh, gosh, I can't. I kind of sort of get the point about no trade with countries that take away jobs from Americans. But that's a corporation's fault. That has nothing to do. We can't make we could tax those countries that takes jobs from America, but we won't do it. And did he forget that, like, the United States signed, like, NAFTA and other trade agreements? Or did he just kind of, like, forget that and then just decide, you know what, not even going to mention it? I love where he says, we will be energy independent. I'm pretty sure he doesn't mean Green New Deal because that's pretty much the only way I know to be energy dependent is to have the Green New Deal, but pretty sure he's not for it. So he does realize that the United States produces the most amount of crude oil. Don't know how that's going to work in terms of being energy independent, except for, like I said, having the Green New Deal, which I'm pretty sure he's not for. And we will only defend countries that defend themselves like Israel. So you had to wonder, why is he specifically naming Israel? He didn't name France. He didn't name Canada, Mexico, Spain, England, none of those countries. He specifically named Israel. And the point to that was to get the evil jellicles to support this plan. I think. Now I could be wrong, but pretty sure I'm right. So we're gonna move on to number 10. That was 11. Now remember, this is an 11-point plan. So number 10, and I said I'm not gonna say this is the dumbest thing I have heard in terms of. Well, I think this is the dumbest thing. No, they're all dumb. So Americans will be free to welcome God into all aspects of their lives. That's point number 10. We will stop government's efforts to deny our religious freedom and freedom of speech. The Democrat Party and their big tech allies are not merely secular. They have virtually created a new religion of wokeness that is increasingly hostile to people of faith, particularly Christians and Jews. Notice how they leave out Muslims. They are determined to drive all mention of God out of public view. We will not be silenced, canceled, or told what words to use by the politically correct crowd. Stop being dumb. No, who's out here just having laws that you can't worship or not worship the way you want? Who's out here doing? I'm not going to ask, is he serious? Because he is serious. Big tech has created a religion. Like, technically speaking, we live in America. Anybody could create a religion. And I love how all mentions of God. Okay, how are people who mention God are being censored? Is there a beep when they say God on television, or when they write newspaper articles? Is it blurred out? What do they exactly mean by that? Again, this list is just teetering towards the base, and it's just ridiculous. We will not be silenced. No one's, as much as I don't want to hear from you and your type, I'm not saying you should have no right to say what you want, except for fire in a crowded building. But nobody is saying that you can't say anything. The government doesn't have some big conspiracy to, limit your free speech. Your party does, because anytime someone says, "Oh, Trump lost the election, he was robbed," he wasn't robbed. You all are just like, "Oh, you can't say that." So miss me with that one. Okay, so number 9, and Anna, I want to know what you think about this. Men are men, women are women. Unborn babies are babies. We believe in science. Men and women are biologically different. Male and female, he created them. Modern technology has confirmed that abortion takes human life. Facts are facts. The earth is round, the sun is hot. There are 2 genders, and abortion stops in a bleeding heart. To say otherwise is to deny science. I'm going to wait for you, Anna, because I got to recover from this one. I don't even know. What are they talking about? Oh my gosh. Thank you, Anna. But what are they talking about? Science is science. Science is science when it's convenient for you all. Because when the coronavirus was out, and doctors were telling you, no, wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart, etc. You ignored that science, but now you're saying science is science? Oh my gosh. I can't with y'all today. I cannot. I cannot. We're gonna just move on to point 8 because I I I I can't. Number 8, family. We will protect, defend, and promote the American family at all costs. The nuclear family is crucial to civilization. It's God's design for humanity, and it must be protected and celebrated. To say otherwise is to deny science. We don't know what they mean by that, but I'll continue. The fanatical left seeks to devalue and redefine the traditional family, and as they undermine parents and attempt to replace them with government programs. We will not allow socialism to take the place of needs of the state ahead. So they're going to cut Social Security. They're going to cut Medicaid. They're going to cut Medicare. They're going to cut all of these things out because socialism is so bad. I wonder, does he believe that about socialism for the rich and all the times he signed on for some corporation to receive money? I wonder. Yeah, and it is, but this is what I said I was going to talk about this last week, and I'm going to keep my word on what I'm talking about, or what I said I'm going to talk about. And how is, if, let's just say you reject the idea of family. I don't know who does. What does that have to do with science? It says to say otherwise is to deny science. How is that denying science? I'm not sure how this denies science. Oh, Anna disappeared. Ew. We're gonna go on to number 7. And this is the one that I'm gonna stay on for just a bit because I just want to talk about this one. Fair, fraud-free elections. Did I not tell you I was going to get to this hypocritical point? We will protect the integrity of American democracy and stop left-wing efforts to rig elections. Today's Democratic Party is trying to rig elections and pack the courts because they have given up on democracy. They don't believe that they can win based off of their ideas, so they want to game the system and legalize voter fraud to stay in power. In true Orwellian fashion, Democrats refer to their election rigging plans as voters' rights. We won't allow the radical left to destroy our democracy by institutionalizing dishonesty and fraud. Are you bleeping kidding me? Sir, no, I'm not going to call you sir because that means I have respect for you. You're in a party that has in 32, 33 states have laws that reach that limit the rights of black, brown, and poor people from voting. You pack election boards. When you lose, you have committees that look at election fraud. Again, there's no election fraud. What are they talking about? There's no election fraud. This is so idiotic for him to even make this point. No wonder Mitch McConnell said, no, we're not going to go with this. I'm pretty sure every Republican is like, yeah, this is great, but they're not going to say it out loud because this is so ignorant. We're going to defend, they're gaming the system. So introducing a bill that guarantees African Americans the right to vote is gaming the system. Oh boy, oh my gosh, I can't with this. Oh my goodness, we're at number 6. I said I was going to talk about it a bit, but I'm so frustrated. I'm just going to move on. Number 6 is government reform and debt. Here is probably where I'm going to get the angriest. We will eliminate all federal programs that can be done locally and intact term limits for federal bureaucrats in Congress. Many government agencies should be either moved out of Washington or shuttered entirely. I guess that means get rid of them. Yesterday's old government is fundamentally incompatible with the digital age. The permanent ruling class in Washington is bankrupting us with inflation and debt, so they must be removed. For you to have more, Washington must have less. Now, there is a part of that that I agree with. For us to, and I'm going to rephrase it, for us to have more, corporations need to have less. Is he kidding me? Is he literally kidding me? So he's going to cut, let's see, again, Social Security. Good luck with that in the state of Florida where you have a high percentage of seniors. Good luck with it. Go tell those seniors you're going to cut, that you're going to cut those programs. I want to see how that works. I want to see how that literally works because I'm just like, no, you can't. Let's see. Yeah, I forgot this. Thank you, Anna, for reminding me. Rick Scott is a Medicare scammer. He literally used to be the CEO or president of a company that was found guilty of scamming Medicare out of millions. And when I say millions, I'm not talking about tens of millions. I'm talking about hundreds of millions. So for him to say this kind of statement is just, I can't. Another true statement, Anna. I'm going to tell you why I don't agree with term limits, and you can tell me if you agree with this or not. I don't agree with term limits because you should have. That's what elections are for. Now, why I don't think people should have 40, 50 years in a career, if that person ideally is doing what the constituents want them to, why get them out of office? I mean, if they're not taking, and of course, I know I'm putting this in a, you know, fantasy land. If they're not, if you get a progressive in there and that progressive is doing a great job and they're making a difference, why limit what they can do? I see why you're for term limits because 90% of the people there have been there at least since I was a teenager, and I was a teenager a long time ago. So I see why you're for term limits. Like I said, I'm kind of teetering. I'm not for them because I think if you found a person that is doing a great job, keep them. And if they're not doing a great job, don't vote for them. Term limits showing up for elections would solve a lot of these problems. But we're going to go ahead and move on to number 5. Number 5 is we will grow America's economy, starve Washington's economy, and stop socialism. Socialism is un-American and always leads to poverty and oppression. We will stop it. We will shrink the federal government, reduce the government workforce by 25% in 5 years, sell government buildings and assets, and get rid of old, slow, closed, top-down government-run everything system we have today. Is he serious? Again, you're going to go tell people in Florida, oh no, we're getting rid of Social Security. I want to see how that works. Socialism is not evil. I don't know, and I know the Republicans they mold it that way. But if you think about it, everything is based off of socialism. So I'll give you an example. If you live in an apartment, oh, let me see what Anna says. That's a good point too. I know that's why I said I'm kind of on the fence about term limits because I see why you're saying it. But I'm like, well, if they're doing a good job, just let them there. Um, I want to get back to number 5 on this one. So he's saying that socialism is evil, but he knows that socialism is all around us. So, for example, if you own a home or you just you rent your apartments or your house or whatever. If you have internet service or Wi-Fi service, you can't just choose who you want. Usually, I know in my state you're assigned to. It's like, okay, you can choose from this one, or this one because they only serve certain areas. If I wanted to provide electricity, I can't go out and start a light company. I have to go through the government to do that. The government gives permission to companies to sell lights, water, gas. What about teachers? Teacher salaries are determined by a taxpayer basis. So is the fire department, the police department. All of those things are determined by taxes. So when he says socialism is bad, he knows good and well socialism is not bad. But because they get to sell it that way, and progressives do such a poor job of selling progressive ideas, this is the type of thing that happens. So we're on number 4, immigration. Yeah, this is the one that I hope I don't explode. We will secure our border, finish the wall, and name it after Donald Trump. I'm going to just read this and try not to go off. Nations have borders. We should give that a try. President Trump's, which he not president no more, but okay, President Trump's plan to build a wall was right. We welcome those who want to join us in building the American dream. Immigrants who want to be Americans, not change America. We are strong. We are a stronger nation because we are a nation of immigrants. But immigration without assimilation makes us weaker. Politicians from both parties talk big about border security and do nothing. We are done with it. And done with your dumb logic. That doesn't even make sense. So unless you assimilate into the larger population, you're not American. What about us that don't look like Americans? I don't look like the typical American. I'm supposed to assimilate and change my skin color so I can assimilate? Are you serious? I keep saying, are you serious? I know he's serious. But this is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. I know, Anna, hands in the palms. This is stupid. You're gonna build a wall, which there's already a fence, I believe. Are you gonna build that on the Canadian border also? Or are we just gonna keep people from Mexico, Honduras, Haiti? Or we just gonna keep them out? Are we going to um, enforce the fact that most people who are here illegally, their green cards expired? Or are you just talking about the brown people that's going to make your population less and you're scared, so you're doing silly things like this and naming it after Trump? For real. Trump's crony, oh boy, I can't think of his name, not Michael Flynn. Um, um, not Michael Flynn. Oh, Steve Bannon. He was actually arrested for getting money to build the wall, and it never got built. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Exactly, Anna. But they're never going to build a wall between Canada and the United States. It won't happen because they're not the problem. The problem is the southern border. The problem is too many blacks and too many blacks, Haitians, too many um, Haitians and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and all of those are coming in. So that's a problem. That's the problem. I've seen Canadians walk right through the woods between British Columbia, which I hope that is, and Washington State with no problem, with no trouble. Yep, I would imagine so. Okay, so number three. I'm like, oh, there's another person that joined us. So, other person, you can wave hello. Would love to say hello to you. So, number three is safety and crime. The soft on crime days of coddling criminal behavior will end. We will refund and respect the police because they, not the criminals, are the good guys. We will enforce our laws, all of them, and increase penalties for theft and violent crimes. We will clean up our cities and stop pretending that crime is okay. We have zero tolerance for mostly peaceful protesters that attack police officers, loot businesses, and burn down our cities. Okay, so why didn't they just say, you know what, we don't like you, Black Lives Matter. We're gonna make sure you get to jail. You can kill somebody like Kyle Rittenhouse did. Get away with it. But if you burn a building, if you destroy a building, that's it. No bueno. We can't have that no more. No, you can't destroy buildings. You can destroy lives. Destroying lives is A-okay. You can do that all day. All day. See, Anna, you have what's called common sense. But this right here, this was like, we have zero tolerance for mostly peaceful protesters. Gee, I wonder why they didn't have that problem on January 6th. I don't know. They didn't seem to be concerned about, looters that attacked the Capitol. They're okay. And burn down our cities. Again, they're putting property over people. And it's just, like I said, they might as well just said, hey, Black Lives Matter, we're coming after you. Okay, so we're at number 2 of this ridiculous list. Number 2 is colorblind equality. Oh, I got something to say about this. Government will never again ask Americans to disclose their race, ethnicity, or skin color on any government form. We are going to eliminate racial politics in America. No government policy will be based on race. People will be judged by the color of their skin. We will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their characters. We are made in the image of God. To judge a person on the color of their epidermis is immoral. This statement right here is a bunch of horse pocky blah blah blah. First of all, so they're not going to ask on the census what your race is. They're going to just stop. We take the census every 10 years. Every 10 years we ask, what's your race? What do you consider to be your ethnicity, etc. So we're gonna just take that. We're gonna just take away that whole question. And thank you, Anna. You just got to my point. That little quote about the content of your character. That's the only thing they know about Martin Luther King. They don't know any other times when he said that the government was full of it. All they know is this quote, and they just twist it just enough. I'm still wondering, okay, so on the census and in the military, you just gonna take that away. You're not gonna be able to know what your population is, and maybe that's what you want. No, you don't want that. You just put this in here for your little white racist Republican Party, and you cannot with this. It's almost 8 o'clock because I said 30 minutes, but I might go a tad bit over. Number one, ha 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 ha. Our kids, not children, because kids are goats. But okay, I'm just gonna read verbatim what they say. Our kids will say the Pledge of Allegiance, salute the flag, learn that America is a great country, and choose the school that best fits them. We will inspire patriotism. Stop teaching the revisionist history of the radical left. Our kids will learn about wisdom of the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Founding Fathers. Public schools will be focused on the three R's, not indoctrinate children with critical race theory or any other political ideology. Okay, so I think the three R's are talking about arithmetic, which starts with an A, writing, which starts with a W, and maybe reading, which actually starts with an R. If that's it, bro, those aren't three R's. That's an A, a W, and an R. That's not three R's. What three R's are you talking about? Because that's not the smartest thing that I ever heard. And let's put it like this: saying the Pledge of Allegiance, I did not say the Pledge of Allegiance in school. So does that make me anti-American? We're gonna learn America is okay. We're gonna learn the wisdom of the U.S. Constitution. Is that the part that says that I'm 3/5 of a person? Like, which parts of the Constitution are we gonna be looking at? You tell me, Rick Scott, because I'm confused about that whole statement. And we'll learn about the founding fathers. They were so wise that the majority of them had slaves. Are you now saying that slavery is okay? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Well, let's see. Critical race theory. Stop. I will not discuss critical race theory. I'm surprised they even spelled it right. Or any other political ideology. So we're not going to teach anything about the Republican Party. I wish that part were true. So, audience member Anna, that's the show. I said I was going to go through those 11 points because we needed to be rescued. Yes, the whole thing, all of it is. It's just ridiculous. You know you can't do half of that stuff. Thank you. Even Hamilton owned slaves. Washington, Jefferson. I'm trying to think of the other one. Burr. I mean, I guess, but that's not going to be taught. That can't be taught. So, audience, I went a tad bit over because, like I said, I tried to keep this under 30 minutes, but I do want to make an announcement. So, Tracy Media is sponsoring a virtual scavenger hunt Saturday, September 3rd at 6 p.m. The cost is $15, and all the money will go for me getting a second computer so that I can start sharing my screens. Here is the website that you can go to. It's also in the link section. And remember, everyone, to like this, share this, subscribe, and support me on Patreon. Have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you when we see you. Goodbye.